Matt Hasselbeck, lucky for us, is in studio today. As we always feel lucky when I see it on the sheet that 18 years, 3 Pro Bowls, Matt Hasselbeck is joining us. You know, we all knew Saquon.
Applause. Look at that. I heard some applause somewhere in the background. Might have been downstairs in the cafeteria. Yeah. They love me there now. You know, what can I say?
We knew Saquon would be good with Philly.
Yeah.
They have a better O-line. They have elite receivers. Safeties can't cheat. You knew they would be good. How surprised are you it's this?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's surprised. Shoot, we saw it in Hard Knocks. You know, they said, our worst nightmare would be if he goes and, balls out for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's almost like for the athlete, it's like an Avengers movie almost like. He was like, he understands the assignment. Okay, I got a new goal now. My goal is to go ball out for the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, for athletes, sometimes you hear things like, he got paid and he was never the same. You know, a guy going into his free agent year, he plays well, he gets paid, gets a big contract. He's like, maybe gets a little soft, gets a little civilized, he kind of forgets what helped him get there.
Yeah.
You know, maybe his whole time in college, he was power cleaning and back squatting. Then he gets to the league, gets paid, quote unquote. And then he's into yoga and stretching and Pilates. You know what I mean?
Sure.
This is sort of the opposite of that to me. This is a guy that feels disrespected. Like, you're going to kick me to the curb? And not in like an animosity type way, but almost like I got something to prove.
Sure.
And then like, I just really think like once you hear like, I hope he doesn't go ball out for the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, there it is. That's the assignment. And it took a little bit, but I think it's rolling right now.
Well, you were one of those. I was a critic, and I said, I don't know what to make of Sirianni, but Sirianni did something last night when they went to the line. Now, I thought they had the game wrapped up, but they went to the line, and the Rams jumped off sides. And I thought, okay, that's got a little Andy Reid feel to it. That was very clever.
Yeah.
You were a believer in Sirianni a month ago when a lot of people weren't. Tell us again why.
I've been a believer. Listen, I was just like everybody else. I saw him from a distance, and I thought, who's this hothead? Like, what's he doing? And I got to know him. I got to know him at the league meetings in the offseason, and I was like, this guy's kind of awesome, kind of special. And I think why it's the perfect fit there is because they have an identity from ownership all the way down. They're one of the best franchises.
And they're aggressive.
But they've got like cool as a cucumber quarterback. Never gets too high, never gets too low.
Yeah.
So I just think like that pairing is a really good pairing. And like Nick Sirianni, everyone was like trying to jump off the bus early, like talented roster, but
that's me.
He's not the guy. I mean, everybody really. But it is hard when you have a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator. It takes time to learn your guys. So Kellen Moore in this situation, it takes time. Like, you can't just say, Saquon's a great player, so it's going to work. You have to learn your guy. You have to learn what he likes. I remember, like, we were a zone team in Seattle, Pete Carroll's first year, and Alex Gibbs' zone team, and we traded for Marshawn Lynch. He didn't love zone. He liked power. Like the Beastquake game, we ran zone that whole game, and he's over there on the sideline begging for 17 power. So it takes time to get to know the people that you work with. Yeah. I'm sure that's true in any business. Yeah. And you saw in this last game with Saquon, not every play is a home run, but he's a home run running back.
Oh my!
So a lot of times it's 2nd and 2, 3 yards, 3rd and 3, 4 yards. But then in the second half, it's a 70-yard run. It's another 70-yard run. It's an explosive.
Even those screens are so effective.
And really, what the end of the game screen game there, what he offers you now is you can't play 2-man, which is man coverage with 2 people helping. Right. You can't play 2-man on 3rd down as much with the receivers they have, the runner that their quarterback is, and now screen game with Saquon. Like, it's rolling, but it wasn't rolling right away. I mean, people were dumping on this team. They were dumping on the offensive line. Oh, they can't do the tush-push without Jason Kelce. Like, people were dumping on them, and they just stayed the course. I believe in. Listen, I think Philly, if Detroit stumbles, Philly could be the 1 seed. You could get a Andy Reid versus Philly Super Bowl if Detroit stumbles.
Yeah, I mean, I feel this is inevitable. Eagles, Lions, NFC Championship. It feels they just have better players. It
feels that way. No, it feels that way.
And they're both best 2 offensive lines.
Yeah, no, it feels that way, and like that's the safe money. But like, it's not a given. This is the NFL. You can lose. You better bring it every single week. Injuries happen, like whatever. Philly is alive for the 1 seed. And like, would you put your money on Detroit? Yeah, you probably would. But like, Philly's alive. Like, just don't.
People forget this. The Rams' defensive front is good. Those are all high draft pick guys. And that old line just mauled them in the second half.
Well, the big part about it is like they committed extra people. So if you commit extra people to the box, to the run, and like you don't have a safety, if you just get through that second level, you're gone. Now, the other thing that people don't talk about is the wide receivers are doing a great job blocking downfield. Like if you want to talk about explosive runs, a lot of times, like that block right there, probably a block in the back, but either way, it's a good block. When you have an explosive run, it's not just all about the running back. It's wide receivers. And you talk about some of the best run games in the league, I promise you it's because the wide receivers are doing their job. They're not just taking plays off.
So let's talk about the young guys. Let's start with Caleb Williams. He made a throw. He made a throw. This is the one that set up the field goal that got them into overtime. I thought it was the best throw of the day. It was a non-existent window. I came out of that game still head-scratching the coaching, the special teams. But I looked at him, Matt, and I was like, there's a lot there.
He's going to have wow plays. There's like no doubt. He's the first overall pick for a reason. He put some amazing plays on film. I just think the consistency hasn't been there.
Right.
And he's a young quarterback. Like why would you expect that it is? I will say this though, the coordinator change has been great for him. You can tell he's like more comfortable. He's more confident. The play caller, I don't know if people know how it works, but like the play caller calls the play into the helmet, like the green dot thing. And you call the play in. You don't just call the play in. You give a little nugget. You know what I mean? So like you'd be like, all right, hey, we got 2 jet X dagger, watch shallow cross, fake 40. Hey, don't force the dagger. Or they'll say something else, like, hey, we got 2 jet algo. Like, if you like a one-on-one matchup, take it. It's like that little nugget. It's almost like you send your kids off, like they're going out at night, and you say, like, hey, be home by 11. Or, like, you maybe say something else, be like, I don't know, just like that last reminder.
Yeah.
And that's what it's like for a quarterback. So if you have a guy that you're just like, you're vibing with, you're on the same page, you see things eye to eye. And I've been on teams where the coordinator got fired during the year. And what happens sometimes is like you spend a lot of time like in the cafeteria or wherever with somebody else. And they just, if they're a good listener, like they know what you like. Like an example would be a lot of quarterbacks, if you're right-handed, you do a bootleg to the right. That's an example. Yeah. And, maybe that's just a philosophy thing. But maybe as a quarterback, you're like, hey, I can go bootleg left. I can go bootleg left. And you're not saying it to the coordinator because it's like just something. But if you're listening, now now all of a sudden you're the play caller. Like, hey, I know this quarterback likes to go bootleg left too. Like you get to know the guy. You study your own player. So I think that there's something positive that's happening there right now.
So for a lot of rookie quarterbacks, they come in, they're overwhelmed. Bo Nix was for 2 weeks. But he's older, 61 college starts. I think the 2 things that jump out to me, one, he is very confident in his arm. He is throwing the ball down the field and accurately. Now, if I've seen a lot of quarterbacks come in and they're like a lot of tight end stuff, a lot of screen stuff, a lot of bubble screen. I get it. And there was some of that 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
When I watch him now, he is going big game hunting. He's going to the corner. And I gotta be honest, I saw him twice live. It's like his arm's better. Whatever it is. Maybe it's Denver's altitude. It was in Vegas. I don't know, but it looks he is just an aggressive thrower.
It's interesting that you say that. I stayed in Santa Monica here, and I almost had flashbacks to the quarterback challenge that we had here on the beach one year. And there were some good quarterbacks, really good quarterbacks, I'm putting myself in that category, who finished in the bottom half of the long-distance throw.
Right.
And that was Bo Nix at the Combine. Like Bo Nix on the deep balls, like it wasn't the thing. It wasn't the strength of his game. But it is the strength of his game when you're talking real football. Like I've told you before, the deepest throw in a playbook, for the most part, is 48 yards from the line of scrimmage. It's the deepest throw, a go ball. And he hit one yesterday against cover 0 against Las Vegas. But if you look at his third downs, his third down conversions, they're all double digits, somewhere between 10 yards and 28 yards, something like that. It's 19 yards, 18 yards, 17 yards. It's just like you're saying. He is confident pushing the ball downfield within the framework of the offense. So it's not like Flyers up 500, everybody go deep, I'm throwing a Hail Mary. It's not that. It's real football. It's winning football. And, he doesn't take sacks. He doesn't turn the ball over, helps the defense. It's complimentary. You mentioned the 60-something starts in college. That matters. It also matters that Sean Payton's the guy. He's a Parcells guy. He's got a foundation. He's got, in terms of like an identity and a formula that works. And then the rest of the house, not the foundation, is the Sean Payton way. He's been there and done it before. He's not copying somebody. He's copying himself.
On what he
he knows. He knows. And he also knows like what the quarterback can handle. No, that's a team that's playing really good football. That's a quarterback that's playing confident. And much like Brock Purdy, where people are like, oh, yeah, he's littler, he's smaller, he can't throw the ball as far. Turn on the tape. This dude's throwing an explosive to me is more than 15 yards, from the line of scrimmage. That's what he's doing. It's not a dink and dunk offense. And he's got a relationship with Cortland Sutton there. That's real. When the bullets are flying, like, boom, I got my guy. And that's important for a quarterback, especially a young one.
Is it possible Cliff Kingsbury in the summer cooks up, installs new stuff, the league sees it, and after 7 or 8 weeks they catch up? It feels like not that it was smoke and mirrors, that's the wrong term, but it feels like some of the semi-gadget stuff, like the league's seen it. Like yesterday I felt like Dallas had their playbook.
Yeah.
Like Dallas knew exactly what he was doing. That's what it feels like to me.
Well, yeah, there's a lot going on there. I mean, they're not winning first down, so their third downs are like 3rd and 7+. So 3rd and 7+ is like the worst. It's the only thing worse is 3rd and 11+, And so, I think they were 0 for 8 on 3rd down. But to me, when someone's 0 for 8 on 3rd down, that means you're losing on 1st and 2nd down. And that's really where the game can be won or lost. But no, I mean, I think this is a team that hasn't had their bye. So typically what people do in the bye, the players are off and the coaches get to do a self-scout. Like, what are we giving away? Because it takes everything to come up with a game plan during the week. But that week of a bye, having a self-scout, like, oh, shoot, do you realize that, on 3rd and 7 to 10, that this is what we do. Every time we get cover 0, we're doing this. Or even like you can scout the quarterback. Hey, when this guy feels any up the middle pressure, he's going to scramble to his right, not his left. So now you just tell the defensive end on that side, like, hey, on 3rd down, when we bring inside pressure, we don't really want you pass rushing. We want you to keep him on your shoulder and don't let him outside the pocket. So it's like a very game plan specific thing for your defense, but also the opponent. And so I think they'll be okay. I think they'll get it figured out. But that was an example yesterday of a team that really lost on 1st and 2nd down, and it hurt them on 3rd.
So I said this with the Niners. Everybody, rebuilding's hard in the NFL, but as Houston has shown, or by the way, rebuilding a staff with the Chargers, you can do things quickly in this league. It's not baseball where you need $250 million. It's not the NBA where you need a transformational star. Sean McVay turned around the Rams. Harbaugh's staff turned around the Chargers. C.J. Stroud, D'Amico Ryans, Bobby Slowick turned around the Texans. It's funny when I look at San Francisco. I think sometimes it's a difficult rebuild when you've had recent success. You got really old and expensive fast, and not everybody in the room thinks it's a rebuild. When I watch San Francisco, they're 5-7 in their last 12. I would pay Purdy, but the number would have to be right. Trent Williams is an easy one. He's old. I'm keeping Bosa. But you start looking around thinking Greenlaw, Warner, the Ravens moved off a great linebacker. Ayuk probably wouldn't pay him. Debo's not available a lot. I would reboot it. I would take some big swings and move off people, get more draft picks. But it's hard when you're going to Super Bowls every other year. What do you do if you're the Niners? No,
these are tough things, but they've got good players. That's why it's tough. I'll say that I trust John Lynch. I trust Kyle Shanahan. Okay. I think they have a plan. And I think that Brock Purdy is undervalued. I mean, you saw it yesterday. Like, we almost don't talk about it. We're like, oh, the Niners look terrible. Like, they didn't have Brock Purdy. Like, if the Bills didn't, he's there, Josh Allen. Like, it might not look the same. He doesn't put a cape on like Superman. It's a little more Clark Kent. I get it. You know what I mean? But it's still legit. And when he's not out there, they're a very different team. So, I would say this about, like, the 49ers in the NFC West. Yeah, there's no great team in the NFC West right now. Right. There's also no bad team. And so, like, that parity in there, that makes it tough. Last time I was here, the Seahawks were in last place in the division.
Now they're first.
Now I was here recently.
Totally outplayed
now they're in
Arizona.
Yeah, and it could be different 2 weeks from now. So what'll happen here, and this reminds me of Pete Carroll's first year in the NFC West in 2010 when he was there and I was the quarterback. We went 7-9 and won the division. And Pete did a great job of explaining to everybody, we are no longer 7-9. So like it or not, one of these teams in the NFC West is going to win the division. They're going to host a playoff game, and then it's 0-0. Like, it doesn't matter.
Any team you like?
What's that?
Any team you like? I thought I liked Arizona until yesterday. They laid an egg.
Listen, I still think Arizona has what it's going to take to win. They have a run game. They have good defense. They have a quarterback that's usually a very good player. There's a few things going on right there, okay? The Seattle Seahawks and the 12s, they came to life. It hasn't been that way this season. They came to life yesterday. It was bad weather. This is Arizona. They're also coming off a bye. That can do funny things to people. The bye, you got to get out of a rhythm. He had a very uneven game. Kyler, he's usually very good. The speed and the athleticism of that defense was sort of like neutralizing him. But if they get back to running the ball, I think everyone's got a chance. Everyone's got a chance. Right. So that's probably the thing. In these other divisions, say you're in the NFC East, there's teams like the Giants that have literally packed it in. They have packed it in. You've got teams like Dallas that, at some point here, they're going to be pillaging people off of practice squads and building their roster for next year. This thing in the NFC West is going down to the wire. So I think you're going to get a battle-tested team at the end that you're not going to want to play.
You come from a very close-knit family. Tonight, Jim Harbaugh takes on John Harbaugh. Do you think this is something they enjoy?
Listen, anybody that comes from a family like that, you get along, you would do anything for your brother. You would take a bullet for your brother. But in the family, when it's family on family, what is it? It's kicking, clawing, fighting. Like me, I have 3 boys in my family. My brother Tim's the one that people know the best. We fought all the time.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.